Hello and welcome. Right then, we're going to get stuck in straight away. Let's get cracking. Yeah, it's also weird in so much as you've got to keep dropping the header. Headers to forage harvesters. It's a universal pickup header, so it just picks up grass and all the different type of straws. It's obviously built, it understands there's different kind of straws because it's got all those icons. Same as, well, that one does recognise straw, it just classes everything as straw. But that one's obviously built and understands that there's the straw mod that we've got on where additional straw. But I didn't realise it would convert it straight to this. As I said, whether it's the mods clashing with this one or not clashing exactly, or whether it is supposed to do that, I really don't know. I mean, there's an awful lot of spillage out there as well. I should say probably, no, I don't think it's 10 tonnes. Probably a couple of tonnes max. It's not that much, really. But yeah, 186... I wasn't saying 186 tonnes, but it's not. It's 1,862,269 litres, so it's 1.8 million litres. It's a tremendous amount. I've got to be honest, I mean, I did field one on Attingham, and we didn't fill one of these. And this, it is a big field, but I'm really not sure how big Field 3 is. 6.12 hectares, that's one of the big Rhombos fields. It is big, but I've got to be honest, I don't think that field one on Attingham was any snippets. It really was huge, and obviously, I mean, this is only straw. It's not like we've done a chaff harvest. I could understand it going on for this, but yeah, it's tremendous. Put it this way, we're going to be doing that all over the winter. I have never known such a stupendous amount of. Now, usually it does not release. Sometimes it does release slowly, but the only time normally it will release is, yeah, I've got to be honest, I was expecting something, so I saved the game twice. When you get mod clashes like the trailer, I don't think I really need the weight. I don't think it makes any difference, because I was saying, yeah, when you grab the forage header, the little trick is, you may have all seen me do it, is you've got to drop the header off again, leave the Lakertech attached, drop the Lakertech, grab that when it's in the down position, and then switch it back on again, and then it drops down. Now, what I was trying to do was stick to a steady speed of 3 or 4, because what happens is, as soon as that hits the window and it pushes it up, it stays up, it doesn't drop back down, and that's when it lifts your wheels at the back. Yeah, so I did sort of figure it out after a little bit. I've always tried recently to listen to the equipment, to sort of like really, I don't mean literally listen, is to watch what happens and try and observe so that you can get the best possible way of doing things. The old farm countryside taught me that, where observing the best possible way to grab the almonds and that, there was a knack, and the guy that sort of showed me, he didn't figure the knack out either. He struggled with it, but he did. But I observed what he did, and it was random, and then I basically applied what I did, and I figured out how to make it into a system and what it liked for me to get the almonds and the pistachios from the trees almost all of the time. And this is a bit the same. Every mod, especially new mods, has got little knacks. So I'm not sure if it's... I mean, we've only done 2. I mean, literally, we've got 4 headlands. We're halfway around, I think, the 3rd, I think we're... Oh, wherever we are. Yeah, we're 2/3 of the way around the 3rd headland. We've got the 4th headland to do. And then we've got all the ups and downs. So it's I mean, there is. These are big. I know from Hobo's Hollow, which is the first time, I love doing sunflower for the additional straw mod, because if you think about how big the sunflower stalks are, they are humongous. And if it's going to turn that into fibre, I don't think it's far off. couple of maps, I think it was the Giants maps, they don't play nicely with the additional straw mod, and they try to reduce it. In fact, you get less straw from sunflowers than you do from any other kind of thing. Only happens on Giants maps. It happened on Silver Run, was the first time I saw it. Did see it on another map though, actually thinking about it. That wasn't a Giants map. So whatever that modder did, they did the same as Giants, and you didn't get very much straw. But almost every other map, this is what you get. Massive windrows of straw, all the fibrous, these chopped up into little pieces. When you think how big, this 6 foot tall, of course it's going to produce an absolute humongous amount of straw, which is why I love to do, if I've got the additional straw mod, to love to do sunflowers, because the straw, and especially if you've got something like this, can earn you an absolute fortune. So yeah, what's not to love? But I've got to be honest, it's a back-breaking task. It really is. I think I haven't. I was thinking, I was around the first head and I was thinking, you're on 600, 700 tons of... I ran out of the stuff, and I thought, I wish I'd have brought that thing with me. I ran out so quickly of the fluid, that silage additive. I thought, well, I'm not going to keep running back. This has taken me out forever. And I thought, do I need any additional? Because it's going to take me forever to keep running backwards and forwards. Yeah, I could have gone to get it, but I thought, do you know, I don't mean it nasty, but I don't think I should worry about amounts of straw. I mean, look at some of these giant windrows, some of the mountain-like ones. It's stupendous. So I think this is going to... I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see 3 times the amount of this. Now, I'm not sure if we used a normal forage... I was going for the 70 ton because I've done this on Silver Run, the very one I was talking about. We did it with the Pepe one. But you got to be careful. So if you're feeling a bit tired and you're like not concentrating, you can do half of the field, and Pepe's will just destroy the straw. So I have a healthy respect for it, and I do still love it. But obviously, when I realised this one stopped at 70 tons every single time, I thought, well, what's not to like? When I realised it literally grabbed the entire windrow, as wide as it is, because it is a massive pickup. It's a proper pickup, and that's what I liked about it, but I don't think it's quite right. So I'm not... Wow, look at the damage it's done to it. It's its first use. Although, I suppose when you consider this sheer mass, nearly 2 million litres of straw, I would say that's probably... Yeah, I don't know that that's probably a lifetime amount. No, not a lifetime. But yeah, I think it definitely would need a repainting with love at the end of this particular field, because it's a bit of a beast, to say the least. But it is what we've got to. I did it all in one session, and I don't mean I went down for my tea and that type of stuff, but I didn't. Yeah, I've not like done it the next day or anything like that. So yeah, it's all in one session. We pretty much also kept that's almost ready to cover. I've done it as I went along. I love doing that. I've got to be honest, I find that is the best way to hone your reversing skills. I know perhaps in real life you'd probably damage your 3-point link, but I just think it hones my skills as a content creator. Reversing at speed down there is what has improved my... I personally think so anyway, has improved, because I've noticed in the Let's Plays now that practice makes perfect. I can reverse a lot easier. I can even go forwards a lot easier. I can aim for where I want to put the equipment away in a shed most of the time. And I mean, yeah, you get tired. Everyone gets tired, and your skill's not so good. But I have noticed an improvement in myself. I remember the early days on Lupacho. And as for like, yeah, reversing with a swivel axle, I can't do that to a degree now. I'm not as bad as I used to be. Yeah, in comparison, I'm a lot better than I used to be. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. I'm tired. I really am. And we're pretty much... Well, as I said, when the mods do that, the only way to do it is to come on out and stop. And I thought, well, it's not a bad place to stop it. So next session, what I'm going to do is when that is freed, and it doesn't always, I think I remember on... What's the name of it? Oh, the European map was also released in FS22 that one that quite a few did. Oh, what was it called? I do love it. It's a fantastic map as well. Set in Europe. It's the European one. Can't think of it. But anyway, that one, yeah, I once did this, went back the next session and it was still stuck in there, and I had to basically grab other pieces of equipment and whack it around a bit. So I'm hoping that coming out completely and coming back in will. Most of the time it fixes it, but not always. If not, I mean, we have always got the reset, but again, usually you can use forks and lift or push things and prod them around, so I'm not going to do that. Not unless I really have to. I don't like giving way to that, apart from when you really have absolutely got to. I'm well chuffed with the Lake Tech. I really am. I wasn't sure whether this had worked with it, but it works quite nice. It's not really meant for this, really, but it is a universal, and it did play nicely with it. If not, I don't think it's quite lifting. Although I suppose the clearance doesn't look too bad, really. When you consider it's sort of like sucking it up and pushing over it, it's not that far off. Obviously I would have liked to put the wheels on, but that is specifically for the camper headers, so I thought, you're not going to do it. It's built for the camper. It's not going to fit under this no matter how hard you try or what you want to. So the weights thing, it's because to begin with, I tried it to begin with the first time with weights at the back, and it was absolutely fine. It stayed. And again, I don't know whether that's mod clashes, because sometimes once mods start to go weird and not crash the game, but they do go weird, you can get strange things happen. But all of a sudden, my back wheels started to lift again when the weights I had the time before were enough. I'd put the wheel weights on, and after that I was okay. I could zip around the field. But then once I dropped this off and picked it up again, I was flying again, and I'm like, what? Why all of a sudden are my weights and that not working? Again, you have to pick the Lake Tech, drop the header off, lower the Lake Tech, grab this, and then go forwards again, and it will stay on the ground until you start to push too hard, and it then rises over this, and it will stay at that height. It will not drop back down. So again, it is a new mod. Whether that is the mod or whether that's the Lake Tech, and they don't quite play together nicely. A forage, perhaps. Yeah, I suppose I should have done, but maybe should have really bought a forage, because there is the cheap. Do we do that for next session? We can afford it. I do want but to be honest, when you consider, I was going to say, I was just thinking about money. When you consider how much chaff this is going to bring in, how much digestate and fertilizer this is going to bring in, I'm not really sure we should worry about not being able to buy the yes. I think what we'll do. Ooh, that is a point though. Let's get the Jaguar. Yeah, which is the Terra. I don't want tracks. I've tried the tracks. It's not so good at doing the Type 502 Skywalker Farms. What's the difference? So one's giants and one's that. Jaguar 930. Wheel brand. Oh, narrows? Seriously? Wow. Now, I would like wides, but I don't want anything better than wides. The warning signs, yeah, we are American. Cam pilot camera. Ooh, horns. Extra air horn side additive, yes. Or yeah, we will for normal. We want the extra large, and we're going to stick to the standard. I know it's $500,000, I know that, but it goes with the header that we've got, and I think it's going to help us really an awful lot. Now, can we do the 70 tonner? I've got the forage. I think it can. I'm sure this plays nicely with it. Tell you what, so one thing we're going to try now is we're going to go grab that. Well, we've got a lot of 70 tonners. Let's just go and grab that, and we're going to try this. I'm going to fill it with silage additive as we're passing, although I'm sure it's soon going to run out of that. Although, yeah, to be honest, I'm only wanting to get this up to the 2 million litres, because I think that's about right for that particular one. This should be made for this, so we should see this work exactly as it's supposed to. So yeah, when you consider it, I don't think nasty. Why should we struggle when we've got the money to do this? got that, and it is working well. It's just not quite right. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love that tractor, and it is amazing, but also would like to... Yeah, we are a big farm. Big farms should... Seriously, you menace. Look, I didn't crush you. No, not that. I mean, I would have come off the worst of the two because that's made of something stupendous. But, ooh, that reminds me, yeah. We can't test it, can we, really? Ah, we can. Let's, yeah, it's a game mechanics issue. So, let's just reset the actual... I don't know if it's going to do this in the right order. Now that'll work. Yeah, that will work. Right, we now... Yeah, let's also reset that. Yeah, it has been fun, I've got to be honest. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, 70-tonner. I do believe you were going to test a 70-tonner. Let's see that. I'm hoping that's also righted itself, because they shouldn't do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, they should twist over, but it didn't want to reset itself afterwards. It has now. You can see the gold one was on its side. You can set that. Mods don't like being mucked around with like that. That's why I saved the game a couple of times. Got healthy respect for any mod when it's been crashed around a little bit more than the parameters of the program is allowing. Should be. Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm sure I've used this before. Let's just try and give that a bit of a clock as well on the way past. As I said, I have known it sometimes where literally it still doesn't free up. Yeah, I've got to be honest, these aren't nice without the headers. I've said this a few times. Well, that actually might free it, but I'm not sure. It's 3 points seems to be stuck in the chaff. Yeah, that's it. That's all it needed. I wasn't that impressed with the that particular thing. It seemed to make absolutely no difference at all. And as many of the weights when they're in the lowered position actually stops you from actually rolling the silage anyway. So I prefer the what used to be the Eric Bauer, the wheel ones, but obviously you can't. The other one, if you're gonna, is the one that I do like. If you're in a position like this, is the electric one. That one there, the Weber. It's not fantastic, but on the front with its power on, it definitely makes a difference, but nowhere near as good as the other one. Right, let's have a go. Just see how this does the next time. I know I could carry on really. Yeah, I don't like going over these. It's like hitting the waves of the sea. They're that powerful. I just want to make sure that. Yeah, because this is made for the class. That's why I thought let's grab a Jaguar. I was going to grab because I did really want to try the modded one of but I thought, wow, we bought the header now for this, so very reasonable. I wanted to try this for 2 or 3 weeks since it dropped, and it's now seemed like the perfect opportunity, really. And then, the truth. And I'm sure the Pepe will still come in handy. Yeah, I'm not. It is a fantastic bit of kit. Yeah, you can use it with workers as well, but you have got to get it prepared. So it is obviously meant to just, it's much better. That is much better, as you'd expect. It really is. I've got to be honest though, I'm very, very impressed with that tractor and with the fact that the Laker Tech is good. It's not that horrible. For saying obviously it would save you an absolute fortune for having to buy one of these. Obviously as a farm we can afford it, but if you could make do quite nicely. It's a beautiful size header. The pickup's amazing. Ooh, still not yet. Places that it gets a little bit too broad. Yeah, it seems to carry on for a little while. That's what I'm saying. I do think it did, yeah, but it did carry on for almost a full trailer the first time. I thought that's surely not right. That's a little bit suspect, which is why I go until it gets, because the pickup doesn't seem any faster than any normal one, which is why I just press on, get to the 70 tons, and then it doesn't start and refill half a trailer load once you get back again. So I thought, well, that's not cheating. You're using it to the best of your ability, because it obviously stops now. Yeah, I do like these left on. It's weird how I always find forage. A lot of them do that. Yeah, that's not really anything strange. But yeah, these are not. I'm not a massive fan of using these to do the things, but I'm even less of a fan of using these to compress the chaff without the header. They are a nightmare. Yeah, I don't know what it is, because the headers you don't think the headers do that much, but they seriously do. Doing these without a header, yeah, I usually do with the folded when I'm using the big ones, because I've tried. Without, it is an absolute nightmare. This is not going to like that. Oh, no, I didn't think it would quite not like it to that extent. Yeah, this is, whoa, yeah. That is getting like a brick wall. I really think probably we ought to be going from the other side now. The tractor can manage it because it does a run up, and it's almost still like a ramp to it because it can get up to speed. But not so, yeah, this is a big mass, it really is. Well, to be honest, this is not much heavier than the tractor. With all the paraphernalia the tractor's got on and the wheel weights. So yeah, it's not really surprising that, yeah, there's space down this end. So really, I suppose it probably is better that we actually come down this end really now. But I'm aiming for 2 million litres. I think that's quite adequate. I think that's probably, I don't know, maybe 2.5 is probably at capacity, but I always find it takes so much longer anyway to start filling that. I'm just going to aim for 2 million litres, and we're going to do the rest over the winter. So another nice bit of kit. We're down to 1.1 million, but when this chaff is done, to be honest, it's really, I'm going to say 193. 70, yeah, it's not going to take us long to get that up to 2 million litres. I would like to do it now, but you know, it's just one of those things. I thought, do we crack on? Do you know, I think we do. Let's do this. It'd be nice to just sort of get it finished. That was my goal. Now this is out, I think we should just crack on. This is heavier than that. It's 20.7 tons. I mean, obviously it's got loads of additional weights and stuff like that on. I think that the Metal Tech, that's like 3/4 of a ton itself, which is why I stuck that on as well, because that's like having a pass-through and a pass-through on now that I don't, this is going to not be so nice. Let's crack on. Yeah, I'm going to go back into the time. Let's see if we're going to do this. I'm going to go to 2 million litres. We're going to compress it, and then we are going to go through till December morning. I believe the animals are good. I did briefly look at the beginning when I came in. I fed the chickens off camera. I usually do that now. Ooh, TMR, we could do with a couple of things. So, you know, what we'll do is we'll just get the 2 million litres. We'll cover that. Yeah, I did do that. It's just, do we really just crack on? Oh, it's going to take 2 loads if we use one of the big lorries. Really? So, I mean, it's not going to take as long either to actually stick that in. I do love this. This is amazing. And the other thing that I was going to use one of these for the Orcat as well. I'm going to try it, yeah, on the White Farm, because, yeah, its little pickup is terribly tiny, and you would almost have to go over a standard windrow twice to get the windrow picked up. So I'm just wondering if one of these universals would work with it. I mean, let's be honest, the Lagertech is as universal as anything. It's not really any particular manufacturer. I know it's not meant for it, but that's not the point. It would be nice to see if it actually does do the job. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It seems to go on, which is why I try not to sort of stop. Because otherwise I am cheating then, and I've tried not to. I'm trying to just grab what we've got. Yeah, if you just hang around, it seems to, but it does stop. If you'll do this, they all do this spurting out where they actually chuck a bit on the field, or try to, and then they pack it in. Well, even this did that as well, but it did stop. He says that this time it doesn't. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. If you just do that, I mean, to be honest, we're off. It shouldn't be doing anything. Oh, yeah, no, that proves it has got a capacity then. It's not forever. Otherwise it would just crack on, or did that fill that? Let's just have a check. Yeah, let's not. Yeah, let's just make sure, because if that's filled it, then to be honest, it will stop, won't it? The real test, I suppose, will be going next to another trailer. That, to me, looks full. It is as well. Okay, well, I don't know what to do with this, because it says, yeah, well, actually, it should start to fill that one as well, then, if we go next to it. Let's just test this, because I'd like to test, does this ever stop, or is there some kind of magic place that this draws chat forever, in which case I'm not going to crack on, because I'm never going to finish the field. I mean, yes, again, it's a little like the enhanced animal system. Of course, it's fantastic in a way, but in another way, it's yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's not quite right. There's something not quite right with the mod for it to be doing that, and I'm not on. I can't do anything about it apart from pull away, which I will do. But yeah, that's obviously something that's not quite right. And this is where the tractor's better than this, because these don't handle these very well either. Yeah, for saying they're big, the tracks are even worse, I always found. Yeah, that's why I didn't want the tracked one. Wow, what are you stuck on? See, it's underbelly. I did work that out before, the last time I used one, but that Terror track was even worse. Yeah, bad idea. It is. In some ways, I think we've got to leave this to the actual tractor. Yeah, drop these off. I don't know what to do. I think what we're going to do is just grab one of the normal pickups, because I don't want this to be about cheating. I really don't, because we've already got the ability to do that. So do you know what I think we're going to do is sell that and on camera grab another one. Yeah, I don't want any. Right, okay, let's go grab a normal one from the shop. In fact, you know, being as this is, let's get the shop to deliver one to us. Yeah, we're going to grab one of the standard class ones, because I don't really want there to be any kind of... I wasn't really 100% sure, but now that we've tested that completely, I'm 100% sure that that is not as it should be. Yeah, you're pressing on. You're really not. No, class pickup. Yeah, that's the one, 3 metre. It's not much. It's only that was 3.6. So really, it's not that much difference. It's not. Yeah, I like the idea of the universal, but I didn't realise, obviously. Well, it's the first time I've used it, so yeah. But I think I'll be leaving it alone for a little while until it's fixed. Because yeah, otherwise, once you know something does something, it's pretty much tantamount to cheating, really. Now that we do know that. So I think what we're going to do is probably, are we going to let a standard worker do this and we'll follow them? What we could do is we'll try to get follow me working where the follow me works to the right, and then just keep swapping the lorry backs over and leave a worker to do this, because they'll stop as soon as you do. I think we could do that. It might be the best way to handle this next session well, not next session, because I'd like to... In fact, let's grab the tractor. Yeah, I think we're nearly there, really, to be honest. I think if we just try to... it would be nice to get this actually where we're done. No, it doesn't like this. Let's just drop this, because it's not... It really is. It's causing more problems than it's solving, really. I don't think I need it. I think it's not... It's, as I said, it was... Well, we haven't got that problem anymore, have we now, really? The problem that we did have, it's now gone. Yeah, if we stick these in there, I don't think, do you know, I don't care. We'll just stick these two in and then we're going to shut it up. We're not far off. In fact, there's three, really. Almost. Yeah, I love this. It actually jumps up pretty much. It's quite amazing. And having those double with wheel weights on and it being as heavy as it really does do a cracking job. Yeah, it is. I agree with what one of the content creators said. It is a bit of a game changer. It's certainly one of the best things I've ever had for Inside a Silo. It takes quite a bit of concentration. Yeah, so if we get this up, I do think we ought to, but I think what we ought to is grab the fuel out. Obviously in real life we just shift it. In this we're going to have to sell it and then buy a new one. And as I keep saying, yeah, game mechanics rule is king. I almost forgot what I said. Yeah, game mechanics rule is king. So it is what it is. You both win through game mechanics and you lose through game mechanics. So yeah, you win some, you lose some. Well, you could say, because I haven't really cheated. That's the one thing I am going to say. Because I wasn't sure. I did think there was something not quite right, but I hadn't really done enough testing. And obviously you're more interested in trying to get your session, the session right, really. So yeah, this is where it's starting to go wrong, because it pushes back and continues to push back, but it hasn't really pushed all the thing out, and then it gets right to the end and you've still got 30 tons in. It doesn't sort of go wrong. I've seen it go wrong properly, but that's not going wrong properly. Let's drop this off. Yes, I'm looking forward to using that. We're going to be using that properly now. I should be steering clear of the universal. But I shall be looking with interest, though. It really do. I don't mean nasty. It's a new release. I'm not having to go at the modder. I'm really not. It is quite an amazing bit of kit. And as you'd expect at the beginning, some things are not quite right. So yeah, of course I'm not expecting, and I'm certainly not having to go at the modder. It's a fantastic bit of kit. I've got to be honest. When the bugs are ironed out, I mean, Pepe's is fantastic too, but it's still got that same bug where it literally goes, and again it could be down to the design, the way that it's designed, so you might not have any, it might just be that it is what it is and you can't do anything about it, you know, be through the way it's designed. But yeah, I don't care, whatever we've got in there is what we've got in there now. Well, we've done it anyway, we did what we set out to do. Let's see if we can actually get this. I reckon we could probably, but I always find when you're trying to squeeze that last couple of 100 tons in, it really does start to get very arduous. I think I'd sooner like do it almost to capacity than I would like to struggle and get it up to full capacity, but it's a real struggle. Alright, so we've got a little tiny bit of work. which should take us all of a minute. It's true. Really shouldn't take us very long, as he says, as he destroys the fuel tank. The other thing is, obviously, it will be interesting to see now that we are using the proper one, what kind of amount we get off the field. How, yeah, because obviously, well, I mean, the gain and the amount of bits I've done running backwards and forwards, that's legit. And I did keep going, and as I said, yeah, you could never sort of class this, though. Obviously, I could never like say, oh, I got 5 million litres off the field, because you don't know how much of that is down to the fact that the mod's not working right. So I'm certainly not going to win any competitions with any other content creator, because you couldn't really call this fair. No, not now that we've seen that there is a fault. At that point you realise, well, you couldn't possibly actually call that fair, could you really, at that point? I had suspicions, but really you're trying to carry on, really, right, a little bit more. Yeah, but and then obviously the test, I want to do the testing on camera, because I'm not into cheating. Yeah, I think Milk Hen said something once, not about cheating, but it's true. I needed grass on one of the Let's Plays, and I wasn't really doing it to cheat, not really. I love doing this, yeah, where you actually do that like that, so as you don't, yeah, so 2 million litres, I would imagine there's probably 5 or 6 tons there, maybe. I was going to clear that bit of concrete, but I thought, well, if we're putting sheds down it, mind you, why not? We can, yeah. Has that got any concrete under it? It has, hasn't it? Yeah, I think we did that. Well, yeah, we'll leave this slab of concrete. We may well have another shed right next to that one, I'm thinking. We'll not be using this as a field anymore. This is now part of the farmyard. We'll probably have it, yeah, made into concrete and all the rest of it. But that is where we're leaving this particular session. So when that is ready in the morning, oh, come on, let's crack on. Let's get this, yeah, let's get the animals fed. I want to go through to December. And it has been a monster, but most of it was time-lapse, so it probably is going to be a bit of a monster session, even with a time-lapse. I'm tempted for the first time in a long time to do a ×4. I really don't want to do a ×5 because I always find it too jerky. Although I'm trying to think of the movement that we had. It's mainly that. I suppose we could try doing it for ×5. If I don't like it, I can always like destroy it and do a ×4. But I think I'm going to try as a ×4 to begin with, and then we're going to go on. Yes, that's got 2 million litres. That is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Did we need any straw? Have a look in a minute. Yes, let's have a quick look. Is it gone? No, we're still on green for straw, so that's fantastic. I don't think it's too much more. I think it's probably going to be 1 or 2, because I mean, the food isn't going down so much now as it used to do when the enhanced animal system was on either. And I've also noticed that we've got the pigs on the name of the map. Horse aggravation. Yeah, on that. So we've got pigs on that, and I've noticed that the food and the straw is... Oh, no, I haven't got any straw in. The food is not going... It's like about 5 tons, and we've got 77 animals. So... Huh? Has the mod crashed? There is enough. You are fibbing, but do you know, it might be, let's just sleep through and see. Let's sleep through till 9 o'clock. We shall see if it lets us do it in the morning. It's not going to hurt anyway, really. I do think a couple of mods have crashed, if I'm honest. Ooh. Right, that will sort out next session. I'm sure everything is going to settle down for next time. So 1,874,000, I would imagine. The silo's not going to be far up, imagine, over dinner time, won't it? Then we've got the fun of belting this. Oh, 84%. Yeah, we've got the fun of belting this from here all the way down here. Oh, that's what I was going to say. If we can, I think we're going to have to shift it. I really do. I just think it's daft to leave it there. You've got to run this all the way down here and all the way to this hopper here, and basically we should be good to go. I think we're going to need more 3 that I bought though. I think it's going to take 3 across the front alone. So then there's going to be, I would imagine, at least 2 to go all the way to the back end. So I think there's going to be at least 5, maybe 6 of the belts. And the beauty of this is that we can really leave the ones at the front here always, maybe even the one that leads, if we put it tightly across here, may just about get away with that one there. And then obviously the others, like with Attingham, I'll just shift out for when we're not sort of doing it. So, right, anyway. Yeah, we're still nearly up to 2 million litres. That's quite phenomenal. All I'm going to say is, how much diesel have we got? Yeah, 10 tons. We're going to tanker it out. And we're going to literally grab the Meridian, move it out, and stick another one in. Maybe another Meridian, maybe not. Yeah. But for now, all that remains to be said is monster session, ups and downs. Yeah, I showed a new mod, and it's a little bit flawed, but it's nevertheless, it's got an awful lot of promise. That is fantastic, it really is. But all that remains to be said for this particular session is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.